What's up, guys? It's Magi coming at you with some Junior Star League replays from Season 2. Now, this season we did go and divide things up a little bit. Hopefully I don't blow myself out on the audio here. So, anyway, as I say, we did divide it up into two different, how should I say, divisions. And then we have group stages. I'll be casting some of the Evolution division here. It's spawning into the bottom right, or top right hand corner, a black pink LE. The blue tear in pieces. From all inspiration, he goes by the name of Nano. And in the bottom left hand corner, from Born Gosu, the green Zerg pieces, he goes by the name of FuriouStyles. Now, I don't know too much about these players. They seem very new to this, the league overall. Always great to see the league growing and have new players coming in. We do have an SCV scout coming out here from Nano, making sure his opponent's not up to anything too cheeky. Now, these are going to be a best of 3 series in each of the group stages. So, the group stages qualify the players to move on to the brackets. And what's great about the JSL, guys, is you get to schedule your time between the two of you when you wish to play. So, you just have the ability to, set up your games, play at your leisure. Just make sure you get your games in and make sure you submit your replays. That's all we really worry about there. There are a few other things, but we'll leave that out for now. Looks like Nano is going to go ahead and open up with a Reaper expand. Very standard Terran play so far. Nothing too crazy coming out. The Reaper expand, very safe style. Allows you to get that orbital command center started. Get equal base with Zerg for a little bit. Also allows you to poke and prod a Zerg a little with that Reaper. Meanwhile, we do have an Evolution. FuriouStyles, wow. A little bit out of practice here, but FuriouStyles opening up 17 hatch, 17 pool. No speed on the way just yet. He needs to go ahead and get that started. Unless he's holding on to the gas to go directly, like I was going to say, unless he's going to go directly into roaches here. The Reaper is going to make his way into the natural base to see if he can't pick off a drone or two. We do have the Overlord out here scouting out that there is an expansion down here for Nano. Reaper, meanwhile, on the other side of the map, going to get pushed out of the natural. He's going to go ahead and check for a third. Now, if you can keep this Reaper alive long enough, it's a good way to find out exactly what your opponent is up to. Meanwhile, we do have the 1-1-1 coming out for Terran. We're going to see a Hellion follow-up here. Looks like we're going to have the Hellion Banshee follow-up. Again, very standard play overall. Queen coming down here to help secure this third. Can the Reaper stop it? There we go. He does delay that third base. Very nice play out of Nano there. The longer you can keep that Zerg down on 2 base, the better off you will be. Reaper does end up getting picked off here, however, allowing this drone to go ahead and start up his third base. Morph into the bigger building. Oh, I do have a Roach Warren on the way. Now, this is already a good, basically, I don't think he actually scouted the factory, did he? Nah. FuriouStyles really hasn't scouted anything. So he is just kind of throwing out this Roach Warren here as sort of a blind counter to the fact that there might be Hellions on the map, which will be revealed here. I don't like the decision from Nano to reveal these this early. These 2 queens going to make their way over to the third base. He does poke that third a little bit, say, yep, hey, I am here. Going to keep you back on your side of the map. Lings lining up beautifully there. Just going to get roasted out. He does get one of them so far. Now the real question is, what does Nano follow up with here? Because, he's showing 1-1-1. The Banshee follow-up is on the way, so he is going to start to, kind of force FuriouStyles to multitask a little bit. FuriouStyles definitely kind of already reading into this, saying, yep, I know what you're doing, buddy. We're going to go ahead and get our Spore Crawler started up there. Lair is done as well, which means he will be able to go ahead and get some Overseers out to help deal with that Banshee. 8 more Lings are on the way in an Evolution Chamber. What is he up to here? See, he wants to take up the 1-1, maybe a bit of a 1-1 Roach. Ling Roach Ravager timing. Could be in the works here for FuriouStyles. Nano going to go ahead and start trying to clean up some of these creep timbers. There's only one out here, surprisingly enough. I mean, if you're going to go for some kind of roach pressure here, you definitely want to start getting your creep spread out there, especially if you don't have your roach speed. These Hellions are going to wind up getting picked off there. Kind of a waste of supply, you know, losing a couple Hellions like that, but it's alright, this early in the game, it's not really going to affect too much. Nano, it does have his third base on the way. Is there a second factory on the way? No, he is going to go for a bio composition here. So we might have a bit of a marine tank hellbat push coming out. Is there an armory out yet? No, we don't have an armory yet. As a mule hammer does get called down there. There we go. Ling's making their way across the map. The Banshee does see these coming across. Looks like FuriouStyles just wants to be a little, you know, have some presence on the map and be able to get out here and scout around, see if he can't deny a third base. Possibly a little bit more. That's the Banshee out here. The Banshee over here starting to poke at the third base a little bit. Spore Crawler is there to help deflect that, which means these queens will be able to see it when it does cloak. We got 1-1 on the way. Roach speed finally starting up, which means, yeah, this is going to be a bit of a 1-1 Roach Ravager timing here. It's actually kind of late. I feel this could have hit a lot earlier. You get a little shaken up by the harassment early on. Which honestly wasn't all that much. And there's just a few Hellions in a tank here. I mean, the army supply for FuriouStyles is, you know, up 20 supply right now. But we do have this Terran, you know, tucking in here. Rocking them Murahan siege tanks. But here we go. We do have a Marine Hellion drop on the way. I do like this idea, you know, to get in here and try to apply a little bit of pressure. But this Overlord does spot this drop coming out and see how FuriouStyles responds. Lings won't see it, but he does have to no, I mean, from the trajectory, this medevacs went out. He does kind of have to figure it is going to head towards the main base. It's actually really oversaturated in main. There's 22 of 12 drones here right now in the main base. He needs to go and spread them out a little bit. You know, your third base is completely void of any drones. You're completely oversaturated here in the main. But here we go. This drop going to make its way in. It's going to go completely unspotted. There's actually no army here. Roaches are in position here to defend, actually. Here we go. Terran going to go ahead and unload. Not really focus firing anything down. He's going to have to pick up and get on out of here. All in all, that drop really didn't get too much done. I mean, sure, it kind of keeps the Zerg honest and on his side of the map. But outside that, I mean, he really didn't get too much done at all. However, FuriouStyles is just going to go ahead and move out. He's got his roach speed done. There are tanks on the high ground, so I mean, there is a def possibility of holding on here. Third base not landed just yet. There's actually a changeling here blocking that really nice play from Furious there. And this fourth base for FuriouStyles is actually really late, but it looks like he wants to jump on top of this army here and now. Third base does get lifted, and here we go. The tank's going to get cleaned up, and there's just a ton of Zerg here right now. Drop on the other side of the map is going to have to decide whether or not to come back. A bit of F2 on the movement command there. And we got the door is open. The siege tank's just going to walk right, get taken out. Roach is going to walk right up the front. SCV's being pulled off the line and trying to repair the tank, but cannot be done. This might be it. I mean, there's entirely too much damage being done here. The supply bills are going down. Third base is still lifted, so Nano isn't even mining there. The Furious and none of the Naturals lifted. Yeah, this is going to be a quite an interesting hold here for Nano. If he can pull it off. Marine popping out on the wrong side there. A lot of roaches kind of stuck on the wrong side of the ramp. Supply depot does go down. I love the fact he dropped those changelings there just to give the roaches on the lower part there a little bit more vision. This is what it looked like. I mean, he had vision on the high ground already. But we got SCV is going to try to jump in here to help clean these up. And that is so much damage being dealt. Yeah, see, 44 SCVs were just killed here. 44 SCVs. I don't see how you're going to hold on here. I mean, you're going to try to evacuate to your natural. Okay, well, guess what, buddy? There's already roaches on your ramp. I mean, that's going to be it. GG is going to get called out. FuriouStyles will take game number 1. In this best of 3 series. Let's see how this... You know, already a great start to the series. Let's see how this turns out. go ahead and load up game number 2 for you guys. As we move to Eastwatch. Game number 2 of this TVZ. We are back. GLHF being wished by both players, and in the bottom left-hand corner of Eastwatch, currently down 1-0, representing all inspiration. The blue tearing pieces. He goes by the name of Nano. And in the top right-hand corner, showing us some Furious Roach style. He goes by the green Zerg pieces. From Born Gosu, he is FuriouStyles. Now, Eastwatch is a bit bigger of a map. You know, allows Zerg a little bit more time to macro up. You know, get his 2-3 bases started. And his third base is actually relatively easy to take, depending on which way you want to go. I mean, you do have a gold base up here in the north. So one of the reasons I did veto this, I'm not a fan of, personally, guys, of maps with gold bases. So it does allow certain races, you know, to kick in and really get a heavier economic advantage than what they should be able to in some cases. You have a couple Ewoks hanging out there. Once again, another SCV scout coming out here, making sure everything looks normal for our green Zerg pieces up here in the north. Meanwhile, once again, we do have a Reaper opening by the looks of it. Now, Nano in game that 1 tried to go to this bio style, you know, try to do a little bit of drop harassment, and he just didn't have enough back home to defend. And, you know, if his macro slipped up, where he had a little bit too much money in the bank there to spend. Just not enough home to defend, and he tried taking a third that was relatively open. To attack, he didn't wall off right away, you know, so the tanks would just got jumped on and taken out. But, you know, it just kind of snowballed the game in FuriouStyles' favor. As he didn't stop there, he just kept going and kept going while the drop on the other side of the map, you know, just try to get what damage he could done. See the SV going to come on back here. Reaper making its way out on the map. Metabolic boost just now starting up for FuriouStyles. And I gotta ask, what is it with him and oversaturating his main base? I hope he actually transfers drones this time around. Okay, so we do have some Lings out here to help try and catch this Reaper from getting in here. Wah, 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 wah. Well, that Reaper didn't get much done. Didn't get much done at all. As you know, he does lose that Reaper to these Lings. He wasn't paying attention to it. So Furious is going to be able to move out. That does give him map control. And he's even going to go ahead and take his third base behind this. He just wants to get up here and see exactly what he can get done with these 4 Lings. You know, your opponent did go CC first. Or, you know, go for a Reaper expand, which means there is a command center on the low ground here. A couple Hellions about to pop out. We'll be able to shoo away these Lings. That one Lenny does get barbecued. And while this Nano looks like he wants to give chase to try and find these Lings, you know, just any map presence you could take away from your opponent, the better off you are. Metabolic boost does kick in. So all in all, a relatively quiet game. We do have a Viking coming out first. I like this decision with the Viking. Because now he is going to be able to go ahead and start poking out Overlords. You know, make sure nothing gets in the way of, say, a Banshee follow-up. And the Banshee goes relatively unnoticed. Like, isn't it a very reasonable reason to delay getting that Banshee right away? Oh, do have some Hellions poking out here at this third base. We do have Lings scouting for the third. We'll see there is nothing at the gold base. Did he actually canceled the third? Oh man, he canceled. FuriouStyles canceled the third to a couple of Hellions. It's actually a really big deal right now because it just shows that he didn't have anything to defend with. And I don't think he actually walled himself off completely, so he couldn't even get there to defend. Oh man, that's gonna set him back quite a bit here. As That does put him on equal base to Nano. Which is not where you want to be as Zerg. You want to stay ahead in base count as Zerg. That attack path on these Vikings. But the Bolt Viking coming out here. Getting what damage you can down. +1 missile attack is on the way here. We do have Cloak follow-up. Stem is on the way as well. And these Hellions just trying to poke at the front here to see what damage it can get done. Yeah, Furious is going to have to go ahead and kill off one of these evolution chambers to get out. I think he's going to start up his +1 carapace anyway. He can't get out the front door. Can he? I mean, I don't see any way he can get out here. I think there's a full wall off. Meanwhile, these Hellions is giving entirely too much map presence to Nano. We do have the Banshee making its way in here, but Spore Crawler already in position to shoo that away. Is going to cloak and get to work on that extractor. You know, that's not a bad idea to pick off that extractor. If you can get it with the Banshee, because honestly, you delay any kind of gas for Zerg. Especially when they want to go into this Roach composition. We do have a Nidus Worm on the way. And this is actually incredibly well hidden right now from Furious, but again, he doesn't have that third base. I'm kind of worried about that. Because say Nano is going to go ahead and start up his third. Yeah, his third is done. Which means he can go ahead and float that down towards the gold or towards this blue base up here in the, you know, middle left. Furious going to go ahead and kill off that evolution chamber. So he can get out. He did finish up his +1 missile attack, so that does help out a lot. Before you kill that off. So he does have his upgrade here. Roach speed is on the way. It looks like he just wants to go for a similar style of Roach pressure. And move out on the map here and try and find any damage he can. He built this Nidus Worm though. I'm a little curious as to why he built this Nidus Worm if he's not going to use it and he's just going to move out here with 1/1 Roaches. Viking will see that this army is on the move. And they're just going to go ahead and pull back his Hellions, keep them back home to help defend here. 1/1 is on the way for Terran, and he has kicked into building his bio. Let's see exactly what Furious has in store for us here, because again, he built that Nidus Worm back home, and he really hasn't loaded anything into it. It's like, why build a building if you're not going to use it? Anyway, so he's trying to check for a third base once again. The Roaches are going to have to come back here just to be in position so they don't. These Hellions don't slip in and find any damage up here in the natural or the main. The scanner's being thrown down here. Did he? What was he scanning for? A third base? I mean, we do have a drop coming out from Nano. He's going to try to get up here to find some damage. These Roaches will get in here and clean up these Hellions. But that does pull them out of position just a little bit. The Viking, is it going to finish it off yet? Yeah, he should be able to pick that Viking off before these medevacs get in here. That also supply caps Furious, so he is going to have to build some more Overlords before he can build any more armies. So what army he does have out is everything he has. Kind of an interesting place to unload your army there. I guess he's kind of waiting for the third base. I guess he unloaded a little bit too early. Now he's going to go ahead and unload up here in the natural or up here in the main. Now I guess the nerves are kind of getting to you. This is actually going relatively unscouted. I mean, he's going to get in here and pick off these queens. There are Roaches in position, but he is going to have to pick up and get on out of here. He did pick up one queen for his troubles. We do have an Overlord down here trying to find out what Nano is up to. What? Alright. Got some idle worker time going on here. There we go. Nidus Worm finally on the way. Oh, this is no way. If Nano doesn't see this coming down here, he's using that Diva voice pack. Yeah, he's already got Marines in position here to go ahead and clean this up. Queens do pop out. Transfuse in the Nidus Worm. There you go. Very nice transfuse here. Furious trying to get in here and find any damage he can, but more Marines are on the way. Medevacs are here as well. Tank getting pulled back up into the main. Another Nidus Worm getting thrown down here. Does he have enough here to actually end this? I mean, he is in the base. He is getting some damage done. But he's not getting on top of the production just yet. One barracks is finally going to go down. Meanwhile, the Bio Army is kind of out of position. You know, he doesn't have everything here, and he's continuing to stim, which means all these Marines are very hurt right now. Some of these medevacs don't even have the energy to heal up. The tanks are in position here, so he can. Furious, you already dealt a little bit of damage. You're just going to have to get on out of here. You gotta pick off a tech reactor or two. The tank's moving forward once again. And he does get that army out of here. Changeling in the main base. Gotta keep an eye on these tanks. I love how he's dropping these changelings around here, just trying to make sure that he can have some vision on that Terran army. A couple of scans were burned there on that. Just make sure there's no army there. No burrowed roaches or anything. But that does put Nano on the back foot a little bit, you know. Oh, here we go. Once again, another Nidus form is on the way, right up underneath these tanks. I don't like that decision to throw it right next to the tanks, especially since the tank in the back can actually, you know... Oh no! Nano, don't move out! Okay. On CG the tank, she's like, yeah, I was ready for you, mate. I know what you were doing. Another Nidus form over here in the third. And right now, Furious... You need a third base, man. You can't keep this up with the economy that you have. Because the more you throw these Nidus worms out here, the more, like, it's just going to keep wasting mineral on these worms that aren't getting anywhere. They're just getting cleaned up immediately. Another one going down in the main base. But there is no army here, actually. This changeling, you know, actually doing quite a bit of work here. There is a tank in position, and Marines are in position as well to clean this up. See if he goes for the unload here. He will not once again. And again, behind this, Furious hasn't taken another base. And Nano knows this. Nano's army supply is just going to keep growing. While Furious is doing all he can on 2 base right now. And it's just roaches. Sure, roaches trade out pretty well against Marines. But against tanks and liberators? Not only that, but 3-3 Bio is on the way as well. So, you know, I'm really starting to wonder what Furious is planning on doing here. I think he knows he's behind. He really hasn't found any damage. And this is just going to start to snowball in Nano's favor at this point. As it's 100 army supply to 90. Upgrades are even kind of lacking here. It looks like oh, this would be a good fight here. If he could like swallow this army up from 2 different angles. But he's just going to walk right into the concave here of this Terran. Nano even closing off the rocks here. I love the fact he's using the map, you know, to get better position here against a Zerg. Who's now going to have to kill these rocks or walk all the way around. Here we go. The rocks are down. Here comes the roaches from behind. Tank's going to have to focus on the army from behind. They are going to get taken out here. Pretty decent around here from Nano, just cleaning up some of this army, but the Liberators joining in the fight. And no anti-air here means Terran will just tear right through the roaches of FuriouStyles. You know, that might actually be it. I mean, it's not... Furious doesn't really have anything to, like, fight Nano with right now. There's no army. It's 22 army supply to 97. And Furious is in a lot of trouble here as Nano is just going to power right up this ramp. Liberator securing the position on the high ground. GG will get called out. As Nano will secure himself another win. Or, you know, try to series up with 1 apiece. As we will go to game number 3. Which is going to be on Catalyst LE. And here we go. I gotta turn down the music a little bit because I'm not sure if I'm drowning myself out or not, guys. So give me just a second. Music at 30%. Alright, there we go. 25% I'll do it. Spawning into the bottom right hand corner of all inspiration, tying this series up at 1 apiece. He goes by the blue Terran pieces. He is Nano. I hope I pronounced that name right. I don't want to be the guy that, you know, butchered everybody's name, but that's sort of the casting life. And in the top left hand corner, the green Zerg pieces looking to close this series out. But Boar goes who he is. FuriouStyles. Nice octopus there. Or a kraken. Is it a kraken or an octopus? That's a real question. Looks like a kraken. Or is it a squid? There's all sorts of tentacle-based sea creatures in the waters. But here we go. Do we have the first couple overlords heading out across the map? Furious is going to get them into position here. It looks like Nano is sticking to his guns. He's going to go right ahead into that Reaper expand. Now, Catalyst LE is a little bit more narrow of a map. A little bit more elongated, and you do have to expand across the bottom. So in some cases, as a Terran player, I started taking this forward expansion here just to have, you know, a little bit more of an aggressive expand that I can rally to and be able to push off of. Rather than going to this fourth base location over here in the bottom left, there's a little bit further away to defend. That's more of a late game expansion that I'll try to take. And meanwhile, we do have Overlords getting into position. We'll see that there is an expansion down here for Nano. Meanwhile, the Reaper for Nano is heading out across the map. No queens just yet. This Reaper might actually be able to get in here a little bit sooner. You know, maybe pick off a drone or two before any queens actually pop out. Do have a couple of lings about to make their way out here in as well. Be able to help shoo away this Reaper. This time this Reaper being a little bit more weary of these lings. Don't want to get picked off like last time. Here we go, Furious, you know, just getting his standard stuff on the way. Now, metabolic boost for them lings. Expands being built and saturated here on Catalyst. Not a whole lot really going on. This has been a pretty good series, you know, it's swung both ways. Both players showing that they can, you know, get in there, find a little bits of damage, you know, be able to keep up with their opponent. The last game, Furious, you know, just went for this Nidus Worm harass. It didn't expand behind it. He just didn't have the economy. Nice pick off on that Reaper, who was hanging out there, you know, just to make sure he could delay that third base a little bit. One thing I will say to do with your Reapers, though, as a Terran player, you know, just try to keep that Reaper alive as long as you can. Sure, you may get that third base down, but you scouted it. You know that third is there, which means that is a point that you can come in here and try to harass that third base down, you know, batter or beat it down. Meanwhile, we do have the 1-1-1 going on back here for Nano. Now, the 1-1-1 is arguably the best opener for Terran after you go to your Reaper expand, because it allows you just to transition basically whatever you want. See, from here, he could easily throw down a couple more starports to start going into some crazy Banshee play, or he could easily go and throw down a couple more factories to play a little more mech heavy. But so far, Nano has shown that he likes to play his bio games. Meanwhile, we do have the Roach Warren on the way. Furious seems to really favor that Roach Ravager or Roachling composition. Hydra Roach. Something else that seems to be coming in, you know, the standard play, so to speak, for Zerg players. Again, you're oversaturating a Nat or a main like this. Transfer some of these drones. Look at this. The third base is completely empty. Don't be afraid to go ahead and transfer some of them drones down there. I mean, if you're mining from more bases, if you're mining from 3 locations versus just 2, I do believe you make a little more money. And we do have Nano coming up here with a drop towards that third base location. There's only a couple queens in place here to defend. Throwing down the double injects. You know, you can't stack injects, which is a nice thing about Zerg. It's funny, back in the beta, they used to auto inject. So Spotify's okay, it's muted. I used to say you had to set to auto inject. But here we go. Nano going to come in here and pick off these 2 queens. There's nothing here to defend, but if you have roaches, he will be able to go ahead and clean up this third base location. A well-played drop here from Nano. He's going to put Furious back on 2 bases, which Nano's just going to pick one up and get on out of here. Throwing down the scan to see exactly where this army of Furious is at. He's just going to rotate around to the main base. I love this decision. You know, this 2-1-1 style coming out here. Basically off of 1-1-1. I mean, it's a really solid build overall. Just allows him to get out here and be aggressive. And poke around and see exactly what is going on. Now, there is an Overlord here that will catch his drop coming in. Furious will see this. He is going to come down here and try to start picking this off. Or clean up as many of these Marines as he can. But here's the thing. Nano can just back up and get on out of here. And he does pick off that spotting Overlord. Furious looking like he does kind of expect a drop to head to the main base. So he's just kind of getting in position here. Now, one thing is there you can do is go ahead and split the army a little bit if you're that worried about getting dropped like this. We do have a third base down for a Nano. Meanwhile, Furious hasn't gone ahead and rebuilt that hatchery. I'm kind of worried about that decision. Looks like he just wants to push out again with this roach composition, trying to lie the third base of Nano. But again, that being said, he's going to fall further and further behind in the economy. Like he did in game number 2. Upgrades are on the way. 1-1 on the way here for Nano. Another drop heading out across the map. Now, there are some tanks and liberators in position here to defend this Roach Ravager push. And just more and more being rallied across the map. It looks like Furious wants to break them here and now. Okay, he does have a third base started up behind this. So if he doesn't manage to break Nano here, I don't know. There is quite a bit of Zerg here. I mean, he is through the wall. Corrosive Bile is landing on top of some of his own army. The first tank will get picked off. Meanwhile, he is fighting underneath this Liberation Zone, which is also very much in favor of just destroying poor Furious here. And Nano will hold, but meanwhile on the other side of the map, third base does get canceled one again. There is a drop in the main base. Going to start cleaning up some of these queens. I think Nano has done it here so far. He's forcing Furious to have to defend against these drops. And Furious also just threw away his entire army. So there's a high possibility that this will be enough here. This Spine Crawler will get picked off and cleaned up. The Medevac does get taken out. It looks like Nano's just going to back on up here. He knows that he's done the damage and he can go ahead and take his third base. And he's forced Furious back on 2 base once again. And all in all, that Roach Ravager play just hasn't done much for FuriouStyles here at all. I guess you could say it wasn't very Furious at all. There you go. He's going to move south once again here to try and delay this third base and deny it. Meanwhile, however, there is a nice Marine ball moving out across the map. And Furious doesn't even have enough for a third base. Now, I am kind of worried about this move out here by Nano. It's like 2 ships passing. You know, the armies just kind of walked awkwardly by each other. Third base needs to get lifted. There we go. SUV is being routed across the map. This wall isn't complete either. Which means Furious can't just kind of walk right underneath this Liberation Zone and try to get in here without having to take out this wall. You know, if he can take out the tank and get out of the Liberation Zone, he's in a really good position here. Just starting to clean up some of the economy here of Nano. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, the Roach Warren does get taken out, and GG is going to get called out. As Furious is going to be forced to tap out, losing his only means of any kind of tech. Which does allow Nano to claim the 2-1 victory.